go ahead, Benedetto.
Maybe we can put a couple words as an intention, you know, why we're getting together, you know, today.
Yeah.
And, you know, each one of us can tell a little bit about himself, herself, you know, just shortly, couple minutes, and also give the intention, you know, why we're here and why we're uniting today.
Yeah.
So maybe I can start real quick. You know, you all know me, so I don't need an introduction. And that's good. That's a part that I take away. And the intention is very pure. You know, the intention is to get united, to helping each other to remember who we are, why we are here. You know, the intention of evolution, of really hold this pillar and help each other to get in center and clarity. And only when we get together from a pure intention, this can happen. So that's my intention, to come in together and helping each other to remember why we're here and what we came to do.
Hi, everyone. I'm Vanessa. So my intention today was to show up to support Benedetto and to see what is being created. And I also know Darko and Marco. I've watched your videos. I was very intrigued and interested in seeing what is developing. So that's where I'm at right now.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Gracias a ti.
Lina?
Yeah, dear Benedetto, I'm very thankful to be here, to be present, and I feel amazing resonance from the first video I watched yesterday, not fully yet, but it was amazing resonance with what I feel these days, and that shift that is coming. I just feel it completely 200%, like from every cell, from all the universe around me. And these were amazing synchronicities for me, because today was very important day for me, like personally, and that we are meeting, all of us are meeting right now. It's very amazing. It's like a, you know, sacred geometry, part of the sacred geometry, like a shell in the shell, and all this beauty.
Beautiful. I was invited by you, Benedetto, yesterday, and I had completely forgotten about it. There was a lot of things going on today, and I was just trying to go moment by moment with the best kind of attitude. And I just had a little break now, and I watched the video you sent me. You tagged me on yesterday, and I highly resonated with it. So I was eating a couple of almonds just now, so I had to pause the camera, just like eating almonds, kind of just very spontaneously. So I'm here, and I'm very happy to be here. It feels right. Not much more to say than it feels very right. Yeah.
Hi everyone, I'm Darko. So happy to be with all of you here. I also watched the video yesterday. Thank you, Marco, for making such an amazing job with the editing and the music and the whole presentation. I felt it was done with so much love. I know I imagine you're being a busy man, and that it came out like this was really touching. I kind of like was ready to go to bed yesterday and was like, I want to watch this video before I go to bed. And then for 1.5 hours, I was just sitting there and just, wow, yes, this is amazing. And it's a beautiful reflection to also to hear myself speak, to hear ourselves, to hear all of us speak again.
Yeah.
I feel this is a very helpful tool to go deeper with what is being shared, because it's so easy to be absorbed in the moment. And then it's beautiful to reflect on it a second time. So yeah, thank you so much for that work.
You're very welcome. I really enjoy it very much. It was an opportunity for me to go deeper, even deeper in feeling you two guys, the beautiful soul that you are. And so it's just a great appreciation for for what is unfolding here. And now we have this beautiful presence of female energy. I mean, the female energy in this planet is so important. Without you women, we could not make it, okay? It would be impossible.
It takes both. It takes both to show up.
Yes, of course. But okay, so I'm going to introduce myself. Well, I am, like all of you, a soul that is having a physical experience here on this amazing operating system. I usually define myself as an artist. I've been an artist all my life since I was little tiny boy, when I realized that I was about 3 years old when I realized that there was some work to do here in this planet. And and with that realization, immediately I connected with my joy, my uniqueness, as a way to support the contraction, because there was a lot of, and still there is a lot of contraction around us that we need to deal with every day, every single moment. And as you said, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, from Iceland. What's his name?
Olivia.
Olivia.
Mm.
Olivia, as you said, that's the secret. You just said something really magical. The moment by moment. It's so mandatory at this point to really connect with the here and now, with the fleeting moment, the eternal here and now. Because by doing that, you create a space between the chatter of the ego that constantly take us in this fascinating narrative of fear and of worry and all that. And you create a space. In that space, there is the real us. That's where our soul is waiting for us. So when you get into the one here and now after the other, that's really where you start to spread your wings. So I am an artist. I've been creating music all my life, and I also been creating express myself in other ways creatively, but always with the intent not so much to be a mass pleaser or enjoy or going into the industries, but more as a vehicle to support each other, to create a heart-opening experience. And and now I'm really happy because we are getting to the core of the reason why we all sign up for this contract. We are getting really to the situation that we have been looking for so many years. And now we are really getting to the juicy part of this incredible experience. Okay. So, and the intent, well, the intent is always a constant. It's constant. It doesn't change. It's always the same intent. The intent is to evolve, becoming more the expression of who I am, and in that development, be a support as much as possible to life, And so in this situation, my intent is to understand more who I am and becoming even more clear about what I can be in order to be supportive through my conversation and through my connection with you guys, because you are a mirror, right? So in this way, I can, you help me out to see even more what is there for me that I need to learn about this fascinating journey.
So maybe we can start if any one of you girls have any question in this moment, have something that is feeling to share or to question, and we can jump into the whatever is coming in the moment.
First of all, I would like to say I am so proud of all of the men that are stepping into these shoes. It is really needed. I honor you. I see you. I thank you, because this is a lot of heavy work to do, because the masculine divine has not been able to shine the way it's meant to. You know, our societies have dimmed their lights for too many years, too many generations. And all of you are really doing some very needed work. And the ripple effect of that is felt throughout, you know, and especially, I mean, Benedetto and I connected in a ceremony, and like the way we held space for each other, it allowed me to not be then guarded, you know, and like when the masculine divine steps in to the position that there is supposed to be, then the feminine, it allows the feminine divine to feel safe. And only then can we really come together and like step into fully our purposes in unity and together in harmony and in love, because there's safety, there's respect, there's love. And so thank you all deeply, deeply, deeply for doing this. It's immense. It's immense.
I just loved what Vanessa told and what she touched, which topic. It's amazingly important topic, which, by the way, less people discussing these days also.
Yeah, true.
How suppressed divine masculine energy was.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're traumatized, and we have to hold space for them and let them, you know, do their own personal work, instead of us saying, hey, it's your fault. That's not doing any good. That's not love, you know, and allowing them the space to feel safe, that they're going to men's circles and this is a safe, good place. This is a cathartic thing. This is, you know, you're going to gain what real love and real support and real understanding, you know, is. And that's something that's foreign for a lot of men, and for us to support that, you know, I think is really important.
What I think also that very few men these days, and even in 20th century, previous one, they were resonating through all archetypes. Usually one man resonates through one archetype, like for example, as a sage or a warrior, doesn't matter which, but yeah, like, and it's very hard to connect like through a whole rainbow and the whole colors and shades, and such men are very few, and the more they will be like these, the more better and beautiful will be here in our space.
How to assist holding integrity and love when you see transgenerational trauma unfolding in front of you, no? How, that's the question. How, what's the best, what is that touches you men the most at heart when you're observing those threads kind of being unwoven in your own self? What I'm trying to say is like, how can we be of service to you, you know, while going through that process?
That's a beautiful question.
It is a beautiful question. It's been hard, this work, you know. I can talk for myself, and it's been an incredible process, you know, to really cleanse myself from years and years of like self-destruction, you know, and self-sabotage and crazy life. And it's been an amazing journey to recognize that I never was guilty of anything, because I didn't know any better. Nobody teach me how to be a man. Nobody teach me what does it mean to be a great man, you know. And personally, I'm born in a family, beautiful family, but it's a family that comes from a, you know, a different background. So when I see the male in my family, there was this patriarchal man power, and the woman was no, you know, don't even take in consideration, you know, the man can do everything and the woman can't do almost nothing. And, you know, obviously that's so fucked up, like totally in every way. And it's been a journey in order to me to come back, you know, to my truth, because that's not my truth. That's the truth of my ancestor. That's the truth of the lineage that I'm coming from. And today, I do feel the responsibility in me, you know, to make a new lineage, you know, with a new man. You know, this man is the man that Lina, she's talking about, a rainbow man, a man that is embracing all his colors, a man that is holding space for other men to come back to their truth. And that's, for me, that's the purpose, you know, to be here also with other men, as a Marco, as a Darko, you know, with some incredible woman like you. And, you know, to respond to you, Olivia, you know, the fact that you are here with such a lovely heart, with such a warm openness, that's already the first step, because we are doing this together and we're helping right now. Okay, how can we do this? How can we become the best version of man that I can? And how can I help you to become the best version of woman that you can? And together we rise, making a new humanity, you know, and we want to do the work. That's the beautiful part, that we are here because we want to do the work and we're taking the responsibility.
So in my perception, how can we be best men? And how can we be best women? Well, whether you are a woman or a man, we both need to embrace our male and female energy within ourselves and make it as much as harmonious as possible. That's, for me, is the game. So to be the best man I can, I have to embrace both my female sides and my male sides, and make it, take them to the maximum level of equilibrium and love and compassion and strength, you know. So I guess the next level for the human race is to I don't say let go, but change a little bit the role playing, because we have been in a role playing where the man is the protector and the woman is the nurturer. I don't know how you want to define in English, you know, and that's a beautiful narrative. Now we need to be both, to embrace both quality, whether we are men and women. And once we achieve that, our union is going to be really the representation of the human species at its best. You know, that's what I sense. I really want to let go of these very important roles that we set up for thousands of years, and because we are stepping in a situation where there is nothing to be protected from. Nothing to be safe from, right? And for as long as we validate that thought, we keep validating, reinforcing that reality. But as we let go and we embrace, whether you're a man or a woman, both the female and the male energy, then we create that unity field, and then we can really dance the dance of lovers, the dance of lovers in the most incredible way. Of course, that will take some time because we have a lot of deprogramming that we need to do, because both the male and the women have been in so many ways having a separative experience, quite intense. And how can we again, the way to copy, to release that contraction is through stopping judging it as right or wrong, see it as just an amazing experience that gave us amazing level of consciousness, and then appreciate it. Once you position in that vibration, in that vibration, in that offering, then all this narrative, the stories, the hurt and the feeling disempowered, feeling whatever story is in our system can be released, and then we are free, and then we really can embrace both the female and the male energy.
No, I very recently went through something with a business partner of mine, and we've gone through this journey, and on my end, his response kind of threw me for a loop, and I went into contraction. And it was really only when I started looking at things differently and I felt safe, you know, and stopped judging myself for making a mistake, for not seeing things clearly, for not doing my due diligence, for stop judging him, you know, for his portion of things, that there was then peace and serenity. And there was just now a fluid flow of energy between us. You know, now there is peace and there's fluid communication, and just coming to the table as two individuals instead of this like friction, you know. So that contraction and stop judging is huge. You
know, Vanessa, when I tune in with your energy, I really have a hard time to find reason for you to be safe from something, because I see so much power, so much strength, that I cannot find anything you need to be safe from, you know. But
this is powerful. This is powerful. It's like Marco know you from long time.
Yeah, I mean, you're
That's
a goddess.
amazing.
You're a goddess. I mean, an amazing goddess. What is the idea that you need to be safe from what? I mean, nothing can even touch you without your consent, unless you consent. Unless you consent. Yeah.
And that is also something I've learned so much in this experience. I mean, just in the physical realm, and then also in the spiritual realm. Benedetto knows, like, I was having really bad dreams for 2-3 nights where I saw this person and was in a demonic state. Yeah. And it was, you know, in the movie The Matrix, that node in the back of heads. Well, there was one on a different part of my body, and I felt this like energetic suction coming out of my body. And I literally stood there, not in fear, not like in angst or anger, really so centered. And I just said, no, 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 over and over again. And he literally, this might sound crazy, but it's, so I'm going to share it. He literally just started disintegrating, and his eyes became more and more fuerte and intense the more he disintegrated, and the more I stood centered and in my, I guess, in my power, because there was nothing that he could do to me that I was going to consent to. So lots of different experiences within this one, and I'm really grateful, and the appreciation and the gratitude to all of this. And I sat and I said, thank you so much. You have taught me an immense amount of things that I'm so grateful for. You know, this experience has really shaped me in a different way, and I'm ever grateful to it. But you're right, there's nothing that I have to be careful to, because I don't give my consent, you know, and it's just that, remembering that too.
Yeah, and that's the paradox. Once you become the embodiment of the goddess that you are, only then you can attract a god, a man that is really the man that you just ask for. That's the paradox.
It's the same for us also. You know, once we embrace you know, that frequency of God, of lioness, of lion, of king, that's when we can attract our goddess, our lioness, our queen.
Yeah, I had this really strong experience when I was healing my sensuality, and there was a moment where I was in a lot of pleasure. It was like a tantric practice, and then this blue being came up, this blue female, and she was super hot and super sexy, and I was just like, she's like, yeah, let's get it on. In my vision, I'm like, yeah, of course. And so we start making love, and in that moment I realized that she is my feminine side. And with this realization, I came to realize that all the subconscious manipulation that I came to realize that all the subtle manipulation towards my ex-girlfriends, where I wanted them to be more like this or more like that, was to recreate my feminine side in her, in all of those women that I've been with. And with that came the liberation of knowing that there is no need to manipulate anything to make someone be in a specific way, because it's literally my feminine side that I was looking for in the first place. And that is something I always have access to. I am that. And so it was so beautiful to see what kind of neutrality came through me realizing that, like, my dream girlfriend is my feminine side. And by being in connection, by making love between my masculine and my feminine sides, I have the perfect relationship, and there's nothing that I need on the outside in order to fulfill or like I'm whole, I'm complete. And out of that came so much peace, really, so much patience, and it's like, yeah, it's all good. I am a complete being. I don't need any validation from the outside. And this neutrality is so beautiful and powerful.
That's absolutely beautiful what Darko just said. It's brilliant. I relate because I struggled a lot with the same thing, but reverse.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like with my partner, she, just before I met her, she went through some struggle with toxic masculinity. And I had this feeling that in a certain way, she wanted to be saved. And through this neutrality, I felt like, I'm not here to save anyone. I believe that you have the power to save yourself. Mm-hmm. And I would come from that approach and be like, look, this is just you're finalizing your lesson, and I believe you can do that. Like, obviously you can ask for help, but I don't think that you need me to come in as like the knight and saving you from another man. And it was so beautiful because she went through it. She did, elevate herself by realizing she has that power of the divine masculine in herself as well. She doesn't need protection. And then we could meet as a neutral being and a neutral being. And therefore, it's a totally different level of appreciation for each other.
See, that's beautiful and powerful.
Yeah, I feel that, to come back to your question, what do we need to do? Like, how can we help each other? I believe the only thing that we really can do is to be in our power, to speak our truth, to be the best version of ourselves that we can perceive of, because then we will naturally say the things that we want to, like, there will be flow. Mm-hmm. And therefore there is not like a specific thing that we need to, and now step 1, step 2, step 3. No, we just are. And it's way more playful and innocent also.
See, there was a friend of mine recently. I'm sorry, Darko, will you finish?
Please, yeah.
There was a friend of mine recently. He came over my house and we were just going to catch up and have a cup of tea. And it ended up being this unveiling, and like, just, it was so beautiful. He comes from this world of like very scientific and very, and like the spirituality end of it is kind of lacking, although he has great interest in his own personal experiences. So he was talking to me about some experiences and he was like, I'm really on edge. Like the cat had like tickled his legs and he screamed. He jumped and screamed. I was like, whoa. And I was like, would you be open to screaming into a pillow? And he's like, I don't know if I could do that. And I was like, you know, and I walked him through. I'm not doing the work, but I held space for him and walked him through his fears. It took a lot of Palo Santo, a lot of just sitting next to him and lighting candles and letting him feel safe and protected and secure and loved and held. It took me 45 minutes, and then he finally screamed. His whole body went into convulsions and he screamed quite a number of times, and he really released, and he had tears in his eyes. He was like, thank you so much. You know, and he had helped me with something else, and he was like, now it makes sense why like I was so pulled to help you, because we're like the balance for each other, you know, like I had the tools that you needed and you have the tools that I needed. And that's so beautiful. That's what we're here to do, is to help each other, to, you know, and sometimes all it takes is just holding space with your heart. That's it. That's enough. Look at what unfolded, you know, like he really made major breakthroughs. I didn't do anything. I lit some Palo Santo and like held his hand, and that was it. And that was a huge transformation for him. Huge. It was a big point. And, you know, we hear it all the time that we are enough. But really, I saw myself in that moment that night for the first time very, very clear. I'm like, wow, like I really don't have to like do anything. Like I am enough to do what I want, which is help people.
Yeah, probably much more than enough.
It's very empowering with just one word. Boom. Amazing, fantastic. And in the end, is always helping ourselves. You know, the others is always ourselves. Wherever we're helping, we're just helping, you know, another vision of ourselves. That's amazing. That's, as you say, that's why we came here.
And there was something in the video, I forgot who touched upon it. I believe it was Marco, who touched upon like the wanting to help and having discernment with that. And I caught myself in that moment, like, should I push him to like, should I try to guide him to like, you know, like to scream into the pillow or to take a further step? And I was just like, no, this is my ego, because I want him to feel better at the end of this. That's not the place. This is not the place for that, you know. And I had to check my own ego, because what I want for him is to have his own process when and how he wants and feels into it. Not that there's some end goal at this time period. No, that's what the society that we were raised in. No, you have to achieve this by that. No, I needed to just be there. And that was it. So that was a huge learning process for me too, to see like, okay, Vanessa, you still need to like check your ego, because you don't want to push. You don't want to be, I don't want to be pushed.
Yeah, amazing how much you both learn from this experience, by one playing a role and the other one playing the other, and how you both gain amazing results.
It's curious, this role playing, you know. I am staying at a community right now, beautiful community, and I encounter one of my beautiful male community members embodying the role of the father with me. He cares about me deeply, and I care about him deeply too. But he was embodying the role of my father at a moment where I was really not available to play the role of the daughter. I had 1,000 things that I needed to do in that moment, whilst remaining being present, whilst remaining in my integrity and doing everything. So even though he was coming from a place of love, I closed that door completely. No, and I think that there's another thing, Marco, you said, which is, I don't know if you use those words exactly, but it goes beyond energetical boundaries. It's more like an energetical assessment of the situation, even before engaging in the situation. So this almost fractions of seconds that happen before, even before you meet another, before you meet that other moment. Am I available right now? Even though all of what's exterior is a mirror to what's happening in the interior, we also, it's like being in a video game and you're in a room with different things you can do in that level, but you have to check of your energy tank, where you're going, if the task is at hand beneficial also for both players, or for the player and the sim character, or whatever it's you're encountering, or the monster, or whatever is in your way. And be really present at that, because sometimes even things coming from extreme love and awareness and presence can, if there is not the energetical assessment of the sovereign being in that space and time, can be a catalytic event almost for everybody involved, even though there is the want, there is the love, there is the appreciation, there is the wanting. So it's curious how switching roles very quickly can also, if someone's stuck in a role, or if at least I perceive that someone's stuck in a role, or if I'm having troubles with a role, and how the play meets almost, how the play is taking place today, because every day the play is taking place in a completely different way depending on the roles that we are embodying that moment. Like, am I embodying my feminine being right now? Am I able to meet the Father? Do I have to be right now my masculine and go and act? So all of this, I feel like it is for me a constant discovery, and also the people, my reflections, the people that I'm meeting constantly is, are we surfing on the same board kind of right now, or are we tipping out of the surfboard because someone else put a different role? You know, this very curious, very, very curious time. I really appreciating being here. Yeah, thank you for listening.
So I feel that the two, the masculine and the feminine, which is also represented by our two brain hemispheres, the left and the right, I feel that when those two sides come together in union, then they have the child, and the child doesn't worry about anything. The child just wants to play and discover and have fun with the moment, with whatever is happening around. And I feel that sometimes we feel that we are, or like you just explained, now I need to be a specific role, or I'm being invited to be a specific role. And ultimately, we are all coming from this child energy, from this innocent way of expressing however we feel. And it's very beautiful because a child can ask the questions that no one else would ask. Like being, you know, somewhere in a public space and the child would ask, oh, hey mom, why is this man so fat? And this is obviously a question that we would never, you know, address like that, so blatant. But I believe that this is always what needs to be said. A child expresses what is in the field without filtering whether this is appropriate or not. And it's a very beautiful thing because it carries the innocence of experience. It just is real in that moment. And so I feel that even, you know, whatever we experience in that, like what you just is described as the tipping of the surfboard, even that is part of the game. You know, children go on a surfboard, and then you're 5 kids on the surfboard, and then suddenly the game is how to push each other off the surfboard, because it's just right now it's more fun than surfing. And to not judge this dynamic, I feel, is the key to stay in this childlike awe and joy of discovering what that moment actually is, instead of already knowing what it is and then being either disappointed or feeling egocentric because I knew it all along, I told you this is what's going to be, and just staying in this discovery process. So it's really beautiful what you're going through there.
Oh, thank you, Darko. I really appreciate children are such medicine.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it's funny, like when I was a child, I always wanted to be an old man so that my questions would be treated seriously. I felt like as a child, the only thing that I actually wanted when I was outside of play and just enjoying whatever I was doing, when I was like interacting with people from a mind level, I just wanted the grown-ups to take my questions serious, to really take the time and be like, this is your question. Well, I'll do my best to answer your question. And that's also what I feel is what the only thing we can really do for the little people, which is to be honest to them in the sense of, well, okay, I don't know the answer, but let's find out. Let's find out how we can find an answer for your question that actually satisfies you answering it, questioning it, asking it. And yeah, it's interesting, this dynamic of how we treat kids and how we treat ourselves, how we treat our own child as well. It's like, oh no, this is a silly question, Darko. Don't go there. No, we've been there before. Instead of, okay, this question comes up. All right, let's go explore. It's there for a reason. I trust you, little kid.
That's actually so beautiful, because it's also lays close to inner child and what we do with it, how we treat it in the inner child. Almost like reparenting yourself, because many of us had a bad experience or some toxic experience before with parents or parenting, and now I also experienced it by myself recently, and now I found out that I can be my mother, I can be my father. That's it. And nourish my little baby Lina however I want.
Yeah.
We are who we be looking for always. We've been always looking for someone outside, a father, a boyfriend, a girlfriend, a friend. We are that all the way long.
Oh, you guys, you remind me of, you know, I was at the beach this morning, and there was this boy, and he was digging a hole, but he was digging a hole with his jacket on. So he had his sleeves on. It's cold, it's Iceland, okay? So he was digging a hole with this. And I had just come out of the hot pool and I was going to the ocean. And I see him doing this and I'm like, wow, that's a really cool hole, but why are you wearing your jacket? He was like, I don't know. It was like, I thought it was because he was cold, but no, I don't know. I was like, okay, what are you doing? Looking for fire. I'm like, okay. Okay. Can I stay here? He's like, yeah. Can I play with you? Yes. So I started drawing, not very creative, but it was great for me at the moment. A very huge dragon around the ball of fire that he was digging. And I made him a mermaid tail that lead all the way to the ocean. So it would have a little bit of water too, this fire water dragon. And I stayed with him for at least, I don't know, this moment of timelessness, right? Which is what I wanted. And
yeah,
that was the moment that I feel, you know, this is what you're talking about, Darko, how to come into this moment of timelessness and be in the present moment, in this moment of timelessness. Okay, then the adult takes over and we need to stir the wheel and we come into this. But then how do we come back to this moment of timelessness and play and enjoy and embrace the beauty? And then all the kids came to play and I left the boy with all his friends and it was just perfect. It was so beautiful.
Well, one thought that can help, one awareness that can help, is that you always existed, you exist, and you will always exist in some shape and form. So while as you tune in that level of relationship with life, you can really relax, right? You can completely relax. And in that relaxation, you find the connection with the here and now. And so let's say you begin your day. I don't know what you do as soon as you wake up. Let's say that you take a shower. Well, you take a shower like if it was the only thing that exists in your life. You just line up with the idea of taking a shower and you just surrender to the shower completely. And until you become the shower, you are the shower in you is one. And then your inner voice will tell you when it's time to move to brushing your teeth. And now you're brushing your teeth like it's the only thing that exists. There is nothing else. You're just brushing your teeth. That's what you are. And then eventually again, the voice will says, okay, that was fun. Okay, what's next? And then you do that for the rest of your day and for the rest of your life. And once you operate from that level of alignment with the here now, well, your doing gains a divine quality that you cannot perform when you are taken by the ego narrative that constantly makes you dance from what went wrong in the past and what could go wrong in the future, because that's what the ego does. That's his work. He's a storyteller that is constantly picking on your subconscious, picking information from the subconscious and create fun masturbations in your mind about all these worries that never happen. 99% of the worry in our mind, they never happen. Can you believe that?
Yes.
So it's just an hallucination. So you
It's
surrender.
unbelievable.
Yeah, once you surrender in that way, first of all, your aging process stops. You end your day refreshed, full of energy. You're not exhausted. You're not depleted because you haven't experienced any contraction, and you allow things to flow. Because at this point is your soul that is at the driver of your seat, and your soul is just pure joy, pure celebration, pure divine sublime action, you know. So that is many people talk about meditation, which is a beautiful thing to do, absolutely, but this kind of approach to me it takes the game to a totally different level.
Yeah, it's not, the question is not what we do, it's how we do it that makes the whole difference. It's like you say, you can brush your teeth and it can be an orgasmic experience because you realize that is all there is right now. You don't want to do anything else, and you are totally in the sensuality of taking care of yourself. Taking care of your teeth is something really beautiful. So the how really makes the difference.
Yeah.
I think also, Marco, what you're talking about is like deep inner alignment with every second, with time is also maybe not real, and you just still aligning with this process and processing yourself in a very beautiful way, which is the most important mindfulness. Like meditation can be cooking, it can be walking, can be anything.
Yeah. We have to keep in mind that time is just an agreement that we endorse in order to have a physical experience, because allow us to dilute, to stretch the experience. So we have, you know, but once we go back to our natural state of being, there is no time. There is just the here and now and nothing else.
I really liked today the article, the post that you wrote. You put in synergy, awareness, neutrality, and unconditional love. And when you wrote about unconditional love, is the respect of the free will. It's a new perspective of unconditional love.
Yes. Yeah, because as we already talked about briefly about this on our previous video, we have in the last 10,000 some years, we have been endorsing a love that it's also fed by the ego mind, and so it's a love that is full of worries. It's a love is full of sacrificing. I love you, so I sacrifice myself for you. I love you, so I'm worried about you. I love you, so I need you. Where are you? I need you. You know, there's all these elements that, I mean, they gave us quite an interesting experience, and it was very colorful, beautiful, full of drama, full of intense emotional swings, ups and downs, right? And it was great. But now, love, as we grow in consciousness, it becomes more and more the synonymous of freedom. And so if I say I love you, I mean, you are free. It's like if you really love a little bird, you let it fly, right? You don't put it in a little cage and feed him like many of us do, right? You just say, just go. And you know what? I'll prepare some food here. If you want to come, you're most welcome to come, but you don't have to. I just want you to be free, right? So that is the love that we need to, and so that love free us from the caging love that we have been experiencing so far. And so particularly at this time of the shift, that love, it means not to judge and allow others to do whatever they need to do. People need to vaccinate. People need to get into the battle between good and evil. Some people need to do all kinds of things, and they're all wonderful experiences. And who am I to say to you, you shouldn't do that, that's wrong? I mean, how can I, from which point? I mean, if I could establish what is really wrong from you, I should have a holistic view of all your journey from the beginning of times until now. And maybe only then I could probably tell you something that could help you, you know, but I don't. I have just a linear vision of you. And most of this vision, I project my stuff on you. And then on top of that, I start to tell you what is right and what is wrong. That's something that we need to let go, definitely. And we need to let go of the judgment and allow people to do what they need to do. And that's, I think, the highest level of love. So love is freedom. I love you, you're free.
That's huge. Like even right now with all the mess and all the chaos, to get into that frequency of love, of unconditional love, of respecting the free will of each human in this moment, of each man and woman, that's huge. And we gotta be we gotta be in that center, because that's
the only way you can really reach the level of unconditional love is when your container is full with your own love for yourself.
Yeah.
Because when your container is full of love for yourself, you don't need anything, you know, you don't need anybody to be something different. You don't need validation. You don't need approval. You're just dancing. Hey, you want to dance with me? Okay, let's dance. No, I don't want. Okay, I go dance there. It's okay. Enjoy, you know? So when your container is full with your love, with love for yourself, you don't get hurt. Nobody can hurt you. You know, nobody can trigger, you know, an emotional reaction. The only emotional reaction that you have is just joy, celebration, appreciation. You know, you want to make love to everybody, you know. Well, not to everybody, just the one that you feel resonate with. Let me replace that.
Now,
but
now,
sorry.
Go, Vanessa. Go, Vanessa.
No.
There you go.
But in relationships, you know, as we learn to love ourselves more unconditionally and more wholly, you know, and we have different relationships, whether they're romantic partners, business partners, family relationships, friends, I feel like it's natural to be triggered by people, you know, like I was just very triggered by my situation that I shared earlier. And it showed me where I need to give myself more love and to have more awareness around it. And that's growth. But I don't know, is it possible to really come to a place where you love yourself so wholly that nothing or no one triggers you? Like, because then you're not growing anymore.
Exactly. So yes, it is the journey. It's not a destination, but it's fun.
Right.
So what I was saying, it was utopia. We have to go towards utopia, right? We have to go towards that, going back home, because when you fully love yourself, guess what? You're back to source. You don't exist anymore. There is only one breath. And I can tell you that it gets boring after a while. Okay. I mean, paradise, trust me, paradise after a while is boring. You want to go back and into the adventure of fragmentation and experience that, right? So the answer is you find the joy, yes, to be triggered by that guy that is mirroring yourself, and you find in that the joy because thanks to him, you have an opportunity now to take the game to another level.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's respond, do not react. That's the name of the game. So whether you take that one breath to actually respond, to give you a response to life itself that it triggered you, and not just react in a repetitive way that this is what you feel like you've been doing. And instead of that, like hold on that one moment and be like, how do I want to respond to that? And then there is no right or wrong answer. However you choose is how you progress. But you hold on, you stayed there for a moment without the necessity to react.
Okay. Thank you.
I love our little silent moments here. This is so rare in a group that there's moments where everyone is actually holding on and still for a moment. I find this very special.
Yeah.
very special, and I feel very safe.
Mm.
Darko, I heard you say a meowment, and I loved
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, here in Guatemala, I'm in Guatemala, and here they play a lot with language. And I adapted this idea that language is something that we create. And so all the time, we're just being playful with the language. We don't say, of course, we say, of quartz, for example, just because we love crystals. And it's like so many little games that are like what cliques used to do, that they have their own language, and to liberate ourselves from this is how you say this is the right way, this is the wrong way. No, it's our game. We can play how we want it.
So is this the beginning of a group? Like, is this a group that we want to like give love, cherish and support?
See, I'm in. This feels really beautiful. Like I've not shared, I mean, obviously Benedetto I speak to quite often, but I have not shared my experiences that I shared today with maybe 2 other people. So for me to share that in the group was big, and like it is testament to how safe I feel with everybody here. So thank you for creating that feeling in the container. It's very important.
Yeah. Since you did that, your beauty get massive amount of energy. You just, I saw a shift.
Wow.
You ascended.
You ascended.
Marco, it takes a lot to get me red.
Yeah, this is something I would like to speak with all of you about, like this idea of also pushing each other a little bit more. It's like what Marco just did is so beautiful, because it puts you in like out of your comfort zone in a very beautiful way, because you are a goddess. You are such a beautiful, powerful, amazing being, and there can never be enough of that. There is never too much of you. And I feel it's so beautiful to trust each other so much that we dare to trigger this side in each other. This is something I really enjoy, when when the kids come together to play something that is actually fun for all of us. I love that.
Yeah. Are you all on board with that?
Yes. Aho.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Waking up into those roles to be pillars, for all the other people, to see and be like, okay, there is some people that are doing this, there is some people that are holding this frequency for real without bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
So many people with amazing powers, with amazing gift, and then lost, in the ego bullshit, in the ego game, in the power, in the money, in the sex. Always, those are the three frequencies that get the game. Sex, money, power. So, yeah, it's something to be aware of that.
See, and I think people more and more are recognizing that there are so many people that are stepping into positions of power and gurus and leaders and facilitators and things and such, and like they're not really doing the work. So this way, when you meet somebody that's really authentic, it's just blatantly obvious. It's like, oh, this is what it looks like, and people really are recognizing that. I remember going to a ceremony, I don't know, 2 weeks ago or something with this woman, and, a gentleman sitting next to me, he was like, you're not the bells and whistles, and you're really doing the work. And thank you. And all of us were like, yep. Because to find authenticity and honesty in places that it's easy to slip into without, unless like you really have like that self-awareness and checking in with yourself. Like I can see how easy it is to slip into like the ego. But like me the other night, I had to check myself and like, no, that's not who I want to be. I don't want to be that person that pushes. I want to be the person that holds gently, safely, honorably, with integrity. That's who I want to be, who I am, and who I will always strive to continue to be. And that's why like I've learned to be, what was the word that you used? Very careful with whom I work with, whom I share my energy with, whom I trust. And I look forward to the future of the people that I work with, because I feel like there will be that level of integrity and trust and relationship that I want to cultivate with people, because it's really important, because that's where the true healing happens, is when there's safety, when there's trust, when there's true connection, not just like follow these tools, journal, and, do some breath work and whatever. It's like, no, you need to like connect your soul to this other soul and try to like feel into each other and honor where they are, whether or not, if you can relate or not.
Yeah, this is beautiful what you're saying. And eventually you can take it to the next level for fun. And then you start to switch as your, again, love container is more and more filled with love. Then the idea of trust and the idea of faith is shift into a knowing. Once you shift into knowing, it doesn't matter who is in front of you. You don't need to trust anything, because trust is a beautiful thing, but still imply cautiousness. Imply a subtle level of fear, right? While you want to step into knowing who you are and knowing life, then there is no need for trust anymore. That's very liberating.
That's big. That's big. That's huge.
See, that was very impactful.
Yeah.
because I've been working on trust. You know, I'm always trusting. I trust the divine plan, and you know, I really trust the divine plan. But now the next level is to know the divine plan. I am the divine plan. I don't need to trust. I am the divine plan. That's another level up.
Yeah. And so we go back to the little child that is playful. A little child doesn't need any trust. What is it there to be trust worth? What do you need to trust there? I just want to play. Let me play, you know? And so that we have to return to that, but with a higher level of discernment. That's the difference. That's what is giving us this amazing experience of contraction, of separation. Once we liberate ourselves from all the heaviness that we collected through this amazing time of separation, what will be left is an amazing level of ability of discern. So we will go back to the innocence of being a child and playful, but now we discern more what is resonates and what it doesn't.
Yeah.
Discernment is huge.
Yeah. And it at that level is effortless. It's not that you put an effort to discern. It's just automatic. You know, it's like, yeah, you know, everything is effortless at that time, at that point. You don't need trust anymore. You don't need you don't need faith. What is faith about? To be, I mean, faith, once you know, you overcome faith, trust, cautiousness, what else? There's a few of these ideas, fields that we are endorsing right now, but those one needs to let go, so that we really can be free. Then the love is really freedom, because if I have to love you, I have to first trust you, or maybe to have faith that you know, I wait for the faith to be fulfilled, then I can love, you know. These are all trick of the ego. Still the ego playing there, you know.
Yeah, the ego likes it.
You're pushing the boundaries tonight, very far.
Yeah, and it's fun, and it's very playful. There is no judgment. It's just you know, it's beautiful to share. And I as I'm pushing your boundary, I'm pushing my own, because in order to feel you, I have to feel myself, because we are all mirror of each other, you know.
Yeah. Lina, what do you feel?
Absolutely beautiful. I'm just aligning with the Marco's thoughts. And that returning of that innocence is everything. It will have huge impact on everything.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
It's just that moment when we're returning back to that perfect and precious innocence, all terms, patterns, names just disappearing. They will just disappear.
Right.
Yeah.
We're so used to have challenges, like we need to, like what you said before, the love concept of sacrifice, Marco. It's like we have to sacrifice something in order to get what we want or what we feel that we deserve. And I feel that the final challenge is that it's easy. The final challenge is to step out of it has to be challenging. It can also be effortless. And it's something that for me, it was very difficult at the beginning to let go of this idea that it has to be a struggle somehow, and that it can just be easy and joyful. And it's beautiful to see how easy it actually is to just have that knowing that it is fulfilling whatever I want to see fulfilled in my life. I just have to have the patience to see it grow in the garden of my experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And again, that question comes, you know, so, okay, whatever narrative is in this artificial intelligence or called ego that is telling me, so what is the worst thing that can happen? What is the worst thing that can happen? What is it?
Yeah.
What is the worst thing that can happen?
That we go home, that we leave the body and we go back to where we came from. That's the worst case scenario.
Wow, that's really terrible, huh?
Right? Yeah. It's oh my God! I better not risk anything. It might even turn out better than that.
And let's say that the ego come out with something. Well, it can go wrong this and this, and then you can say, so what? I found the two words, so what, so powerful. So what?
I love it. So what?
So what?
Yeah. So what?
All right, dear brothers and sisters, I feel that this is we come to a point where this is a good moment to wrap it up. And I really enjoyed this very balanced conversation. 3 females, 3 males. That's just perfect. And I very much hope that we will continue this on a regular way, in order to go deeper and explore and see how we can ignite and play with each other in an even more strong and powerful way. I'm looking very much forward to see you all in your full power, and I'm curious to see what kind of masters I'm surrounding myself with.
Yes, let's be more daring. Let's be more naked. Okay, let's take the time to process what we share, and just whatever comes from the belly, just put it on the table and just share with each other, and let's put ourselves there out, and so what, you know. Do it. And you're so beautiful. You are so amazing, beautiful. Oh my God.
Oh my God, oh my goddess. It's happening.
You know, we have to end with the Buddha laugh. You know the Buddha laugh?
What is the Buddha laugh?
Is the realization that everything is a joke.
Yeah.
You know?
So much love to you all.
I love you guys all, and feeling very blessed.
Ciao,
See you next
Olivia.
week.
Ciao, Vanessa. Ciao, Marco. Ciao, Darko.
Ciao, beautifuls.
Ciao, Darko, Benedetto, Marco, Vanessa, Jean.